4 hours until the massacre at Ffirth Asylum. John had lost track of how many consecutive days he had woken up not knowing where he was. This place was full of people and echoes and creaky boards and mold. Someone was shouting at him to wake up. He sat up on the cot and the first thing he saw was one of the terrifying Darth Vader guys holding a machine gun. John thought, oh right, it's this bullshit still. 2 spacemen surged forward and lifted John off of his cot and took him roughly out of the gym and into an old shower room covered in ancient chipped tiles held together by mildew. John half expected to see a dozen naked men in black space helmets snapping towels at each other. Instead, he found himself alone. The long, dry shower room was now piled high with huge boxes of rubber gloves and syringes and trash bags and every other thing. He was alone for 10 minutes until he was joined by Detective Falconer. Shouldn't you be wearing a spacesuit? Falconer was wearing his street clothes, jeans, a black turtleneck, and an empty shoulder holster under his armpit. Cowboy boots, a little bit of beard stubble. John wondered if the guy would walk from one end of the street to the other without winding up covered in bitches. Falconer said, a suit wouldn't help, would it? Might buy you a few seconds. Where's Amy? Who? Dave's girlfriend, redhead, only one hand. They snatched her up, both of us, but I think she got away. They don't seem to know where she is. I don't know if she's in town or... Didn't see her. What about Dave? I can ask, but they won't tell me either way. Because you don't work for the CDC? Does this shit look like the CDC to you? You see what those guys were wearing? What they were packing? No, they're not CDC, and I'm not one of them. I'm being processed for infected, just like you. I turned myself in. I got them to let me talk to you because I said you might have information, but when we're done, both of us will get tossed over the fence down to the hospital, and it sounds like nobody comes back out of there. You turned yourself in? Great plan you had there, detective. I am really trying to restrain myself here. Do you understand? This all happened because of you 2 shitbirds. Man, fuck you. I don't think Dave made it out. Did you know that? I'm pretty sure he got his brains blown out when everything went bad. Or if not, they got him after the shit went to hell. Either way. Well, I'm sorry if that's true, but I can't say that I don't know what to be true either. Some people were killed in the first round of riots, but I never heard he was among them. John shrugged. But none of this is my main point. Falconer moved to a spot where he could see the gym from where he was standing, making sure nobody was close enough to listen. My point is, I've seen everything I need to see in here, so I figure that instead of rotting in their quarantine, I might as well get to the bottom of this and save the world. John stood up. Now you're talking. Don't get excited. If I think you can help me, I'll get you out of here too, but you have to prove you can help me first. John sat. Okay, fine. Want me to show you some karate, or... I watched both of you go into a door at a taco stand and not come back out. Where did you go? To a construction site outside of town. How? Magic door. No, seriously, don't get mad. The door is magic. It's not my fault. But it didn't work for me. And if the illegal aliens that got manning the grill at that place go through the back door, they're not going to wind up outside town. Correct? Neither will most people. Me and Dave can do it, so can other people around town. They're the ones who built the doors. We just stumbled across them. Doors. There's more than one. Yeah, they're all over. And who are these people who put them there? We'd love to find out. They're very well funded and are very powerful, and they dabble in weird shit. They're also almost certainly the people responsible for this outbreak, which, as Dave tried to explain to you, is the work of invisible monsters. I think that tenant guy is with them. He has that vibe. A few days into the situation, CDC, military, everybody pulls out and this new agency, Reaper, sweeps in. They got all the right equipment and all the right training for this exact thing, and nobody has heard of them before. John shrugged it as if to say, sounds about right. These guys, the ones you say are behind this, do they do anything else, other than build magical doors and monsters? I'm having a little bit of trouble figuring out how they make money off that. Dave thinks the monster stuff is a side effect, an accident. He thinks they're experimenting under the table with the door stuff, quantum teleportation or wormholes or however they do it, and that when they started digging around with the fabric of space-time and dimensions and so on, weird shit started leaking through, from, other dimensions or wherever they come from. But the stuff that came through, don't think of it as just animals that run around biting people. Some of it is intelligent, super intelligent maybe, dark shapes like ghosts. John could tell that from Falconer's face that he was losing him. Detective, all that stuff I just said, we didn't just fill this in with our imagination. We've had encounters here and there. Stuff is leaked out from inside the operation. We look like a couple of assholes, but Dave actually has worked really hard to put this together, and you've seen enough weird shit in your time here to just give us a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. These people, you think they're part of the government. I think that when the government comes to investigate something that goes down here, these guys can make some calls and that shit just disappears. Case gets closed. Also, they've been around for a while. Stories about this town go back as far as the history books go. Maybe forever. What's so special about this town? Don't know. Maybe there's some kind of electromagnetic conditions that make it ideal for whatever it is they do. Maybe they just got a good deal on the land. Who knows? And what's so special about you and David? Why can you use the doors? Why can you see the monsters? Short answer, we're magic. Longer answer, he and I took a magic potion that gave us the ability. The longer still answer is that a drug hit the streets. Looks kind of like molasses or motor oil that hasn't been changed in a decade. The dealer was calling it soy sauce. You take it and you change instantly. The veil comes up off your perceptions. When you're on it, the first few hours, you're like a fucking demigod. You can slip through time, space, unlock the mysteries of the universe and shit. Then you come down and you feel normal again, but some of the effects are permanent. You become a member of the club. That drug, it came from these people, right? All the weird shit comes from them? Yeah. You have any of it left? The drug? You don't want to take it. It kills 99% of the people who come in contact with it, mostly in gruesome ways. The dealer who sold it to me, they found him splattered on the walls of his trailer. But in answer to your question, yes, we do have some of the soy sauce left. Where? I'll take you to it. No bullshit. But we gotta get out of here first. I agree. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that they're not gonna agree to release us, even if you wave your badge at the dude guarding the door. Falconer said, You're right, for once. But I don't know if you realized it, but these assholes picked the single most fucked up building in a 100-mile radius in which to set up their ad hoc HQ. They have generators in the parking lot and power cables draped through windows and boxes stacked everywhere. I'm thinking they have not had time to work out exactly what they would do in the event of something unexpected, like a fire. We're totally on the same page here. Let's burn this shit down. Falconer closed his eyes, let out a stadium breath, and said, No. We just need some smoke. Enough to make them go through the process of carefully moving all of these patients and staff and shit out of the building. All those guys in their bulky-ass spacesuits tripping over cables, patients trying to escape, and in the confusion, we slip away. Now, if I go out there now and occupy as many staff as I can with some ruse, do you possess the resourcefulness to sneak away and create a nice, smoky, but controlled fire in a trash can somewhere without fucking it up? John looked him dead in the eye and said, Throw some rubber gloves in there, it'll smell just like an electrical fire.